Hello and welcome to a 3v3 cast on Angel's Gate. Starting off on the blue side, we've got Rostam playing as a Kommando Knob. We have Maggot towards the center of the map playing as a Plague Champion, and Lomors at the top as that Mekboy, in fact actually at the bottom. Starting off with the red side, we have Hate as a weapon as an Apothecary. We have manonmars as a Techmarine, and He-Man, who's going to be a Force Commander, making up a complete Space Marine team. It's been a while since I've done a cast other than those on Twitch, so forgive me for being a bit rusty. But starting off, we have a bit of action already down on the bottom side. Bottom side on Angel Gate being an extremely short distance between the two bases. You can easily retreat and get back into the fights very quickly. As for the scouts and the scouts capping a bit quicker, scouts do not cap quicker. In fact, no units in the game does cap quicker. There are some units that can decap a little bit quicker though in comparison, which would be Tactical Marines, Sentinels, and Commandos. Here on the bottom side, Lomors is just going to kind of group up here. It's going to advance forward the Force Commander, going to struggle to do too much in the bottom side at the early stages of the game, as soon as he tries to get into melee range, there'll be an Orc turret firing down on him. Apo going to sit behind some green cover there with the Tactical Marines. He's going to advance out of cover though. He's very fragile and it will take quite a lot of damage. They need to use the heal on themselves straight away, but actually getting a special onto these sluggers. Tactical Marines using their cracking rounds, not that they're very effective against sluggers, in fact it does the same amount of damage overall. Meanwhile, very interestingly, manonmars opting for triple scouts here. Plague Champion is going to be very effective against those triple scouts, however, the Plague Bolter being extremely effective against infantry. Techmarine going to go behind some green cover there, but the damage over time there from that Plague Bolter should easily hit him. Our Force Commander trying to go in here. Shooter's going to be forced into the building. Overall, the red team are going to get forced off here. The scouts are still on the field, but with the buildings getting occupied and the Mekboy are going to sit in here, these scouts are going to be forced off before they lose any models. Do actually have a sergeant already. Grenade does get thrown down. It surprisingly reaching quite far. It was aimed at the building, but it's actually, you can see, do some decent damage there. Meanwhile, another grenade on the top side. The shooter boys do vacate the building just in time. Sometimes you want to place that grenade on the entrance so that you force your opponents to leave the building and actually stand on top of the grenade. At the same time, if they don't get out of the building, they will still take quite a lot of damage. Scouts trying to force melee down onto that Plague Champion by the looks of it. Plague Champion just going to fall back, and surprisingly these scouts have not lost a model, but they are very low and will go back to base to heal up a bit. Mekboy getting a bit low there, down to 15 HP, should go down there. Tactical Marine will go down, but the Force Commander is still fairly healthy in this fight. Is just going to try and come around the side though, but does need to be careful of these sluggers on the retreat path. Going in, but just taking a bit too much damage and will be forced off. Top side, Rostam is going to be advancing here against this Apothecary. Hates though, taking a nice defensive position. Doesn't have any shotguns though, so it's just actually going to back out the fight altogether after gaining some decent ground on the top side. Meanwhile, manonmars though choosing to continue to upgrade his triple scouts here. One squad has been upgraded with both the sergeant and the shotgun upgrade, meanwhile the other squad with just the sergeant. They are getting a shotgun though, and the third one is just going to be remaining standard for now. You may see some upgrades come in a bit later, but upgrading the scouts does cost quite a lot of power in tier 1. Costing 40 power per squad so far. If you opt to get the infiltration ability as well, it's going to be an extra 15 power per squad. When it does get thrown down, these vengeance rounds, they do not suppress, but they do a lot of damage. It's going to be one squad down. Tactical Marines on the retreat path of those shooters. Going to try and force melee on them to try and gain some extra models. And on the bottom side, Lomors is definitely going to struggle a bit there without a Slugger Boy squad to try and fight this Force Commander in melee combat. Top side of the map, we do see a Painboy have actually been purchased here for Rostam. Painboy able to heal up any squad, very effective in melee combat, very nice counter in fact to the Apo, and a really nice stun grenade as well is going to catch out these Tactical Marines and Scouts. Apo is going to try and engage here by himself, but Painboy and the Sluggers easily are going to turn around. In fact, that is Apo is just going to die here on retreat. The amount of damage that he's taken. Apo is a very fragile commander despite being melee, only having 630 HP base health. You see a grenade going down at the same time as a shotgun blast, maybe not coordinated best there. These are scouts from two different players, however it is going to force Rostam off overall, and only losing one generator and one power node is not too bad. However, the Apo is still down, so Man on Mars will need to send his Techmarine up there to go and get a res. Otherwise, the Apo is just going to have to wait. It does have the Lariman's Blessing ability, allowing him to regen all commanders on the field and respawn them back at base for 150 red, but that red is better spent elsewhere if you can avoid it. These Vengeance rounds hitting with perfect accuracy on this power node, just a beam of Vengeance rounds just firing away there. Is able to take down the power node straight away. These scouts are very low, but these Raptors even lower. These Raptors actually just go in and die. Raptors are not the cheapest of units, costing 400 requisition, 40 power. That could be a dead scout squad though in return, and will die. The damage over time there from that Plague Bolter going to be a little bit too much. There's quite a few squads dying here. Shooter boys are just about going to scrape on by with just one health. These Tactical Marines unfortunately not having enough damage to finish them off. Looters inside the building here going to be very annoying. These Tactical Marines did come from a drop pod, but are going to be forced off here. Sunbomb does go down, does force a retreat, and actually have a Storm Shield upgrade here on the Force Commander for He-Man. This will assist in the massive ranged blob here that is approaching down the bottom side of the map, but everything else getting forced off. The Force Commander, in fact, is actually just going to die, just getting a little bit too greedy here for this power node, and this power node is going to get torn down quite quickly, so maybe not worth it. Devastators are firing away here at the power node, but there's a massive ranged army coming in from above, and they're just not got the angle here. Will be forced off the field, and blue team going to gain quite a lot of ground. Rostam is going to heal up Lomors Mekboy there. Do have a bit of a flank coming in. These scouts do have infiltration, but they are getting detected. The Nob leader on the Shooter Boy squad is a detector. Mekboy is really going to die there once again. A very interesting strategy here for Man on Mars, going for triple upgraded scouts. Can combine the Shotgun Blast with a Grenade Throw. Shotgun Blast knocking units on the ground. The Grenade Throw going to be unavoidable, but can be a bit difficult to pull off, especially as the grenade, not the grenade, sorry, but the Shotgun Blast ability knocks them back in a bit of a cone, so you don't have the tightest of groupings when your grenade does hit the ground. ASM, they're going to get hit by that stun bomb. Kommando Nob is still on the field. It's actually getting the Assassin's Knife there. These Tactical Marines should be forced off the field when this upgrade finishes. In fact, they're just going to leave straight away. Does have the Assassinate ability, doing 250 damage to a single target, so very effective at taking out Tactical Marine models if your Kommando Nob can get close enough. Going to be, in fact, very effective against these Devastators. Should easily be able to take down a single model at the very least. Especially with these Sluggers coming in. In fact, that could actually be a squad wipe at the top here. You see some players opting for tier 2 already, 321 VPs to 495. The squads are going in. The Assassinate ability should get used here. Devastator squad is so low, down to just 25 HP. A second Slugger squad on the field, but not in the right position. The triple shot ability does get used, but the triple shot ability, it doesn't actually do any damage. I believe it may only do 1 damage. It's there mainly to stun units, but does not affect retreating units. Techmarine here though from Man on Mars with his massive army of scouts here. Raptors have been repurchased for Maggot, so we'll see if they can actually get into combat. The triple shotgun blasts though could be very effective as a counter. These scouts though getting a little bit caught out. Meanwhile, Raptors are going to go in. They're going for the Techmarine. Grenades are going to get thrown onto that Techmarine, but are going to miss those Raptors overall. The scouts need to get a bit of a spread here against these heretics so that the Doom Blast ability does not affect all squads at the same time. Techmarine could opt for some Bionics, but has spent so much money on upgrades, does need to conserve a bit of power so you can actually get into tier 2. Raptors are getting quite low. These scouts do have enough energy for a grenade, but I don't believe the grenade ability is ready though. Tactic grenade actually is going to get used onto the heretics. Wow, that squad's taking a lot of damage. It's going to barely scrape on by. One scout squad was lost earlier as well, and Man on Mars has actually opted to repurchase that, so a lot of power being invested in tier 1 for him. So we'll need to try and kill as many squads as possible to try and make up for that cost. Did have the ASM Sergeant there, we did see that power sword briefly, but the squad is just going to die. In fact, at this point, there's just so much melee here for Rostam's Ork army that he's just able to kill anything that tries to retreat away or isn't able to jump away in time. Quite an expensive loss there for Hate. Blue team gaining a decent amount of ground down the top side, but red team have actually got a full generator farm down in the bottom side, so some pressure will need to be applied down there. Now some tank busters on the field to try and break this wall here. They're actually missing the Devastator squad completely, and Devastators are just going to start firing away. The Vengeance rounds are going to be used here, as opposed to trying to suppress the squads, just to increase the amount of damage that they do. They are fairly close. Vengeance rounds do a disgusting amount of damage at point blank range, if you can get that close enough. Scouts though, trying to do what they can, but getting a little bit caught there. These triple scouts though, they can make really good use of getting behind units and trying to throw some nice retreating grenades, but you do need to lower the enemy health in order to make use of that. Against this very heavy melee army of Rostam's, these triple shotgun scouts should be fairly effective if you stagger the shotgun blasts. In fact, that Painboy is incredibly low. One grenade will get thrown down, but the grenade is going to miss. A grenade is not getting thrown on the retreat path of that Painboy, otherwise could potentially have assassinated that sub-commander. Kommando Nob is going to try and go in. His squads are going to be forced off overall as Lomors actually comes up to assist Rostam there with his mass shooter blob. You see the Tactical Marine blob going around here. That was Force Commander though, incredibly tanky. He also has the Artificer's armor on top of that Storm Shield. Tactical Marines are going to take such little range damage, especially if the Sergeants also use their ability to stand their ground. Meanwhile, a stun bomb is going to go down. These Tactical Marines are going to be met with some tank busters. Tank busters deciding they don't actually want to take that fight in melee combat. Storm Shield there getting used by that Blade Champion with the Power Fist is actually going to start hammering away there at these Tactical Marines. Does have the Pestilent armor as well. Immune to knock back from the shotgun blast, but the Vengeance rounds are just going to come in and just wipe him down. These Raptors aren't able to jump into combat in time. These Raptors, in fact, actually been incredibly effective here. The Force Commander with the Storm Shield is not the most effective melee fighter, as he's only equipped with a Chainsword. Not very effective against heavy infantry in comparison to a Power Sword or the Thunder Hammer. Dreadnought with an Assault Cannon here. This is a very scary ranged blob here for a man on Mars. A lot of damage up close, but no grenade on the Shooter Boy's retreat path. Would like to see some more retreat grenades though. Can definitely turn the tide if you can wipe out several squads. And already actually, we have Terminator Force Commander. He-Man actually skipping tier 2 largely in favour of that Terminator Force Commander. Tier 3 as well for Hate as a weapon. This triple generator farm at the bottom is making a huge difference to the ability in tech. We actually have the Flamer upgrade as well. Kommando Nob potentially might go down here trying to res that Blade Champion. And we'll get down. These Vengeance round Devastators seem to be doing quite a lot of damage here on retreat as well. Another war truck here for Rostam. Imagine it's probably loaded with his double sluggers. But we'll need to be careful. This Terminator Force Commander with the Flamer will just gut any sort of infantry that comes close to it. If you're really skilled, you'll need to throw some grenades onto the vehicle as well to try and kill it, but that's a little bit more difficult to do. Man on Mars does need to be very careful though. His scouts are getting very low. And that Dreadnought is just going to come in here and it's going to be largely uncontested. Tank bus getting knocked over straight away, and those shooters are very close to their base, so they should be able to res up in time. I did see some sluggers vacate that war truck there. Dreadnought a little bit out of position at this point, doesn't actually have any support. Techmarine does have the global repair ability actually getting used right there. Plasma Devastators though could get a decent shot here, but their ability is charging. It's going to get a rear armor hit and it's going to take out the truck in a single hit. Sluggers are going to go in and will get hit by a grenade. They do have the ability to take reduced incoming damage there, so I can't actually remember the name of it, but you can see the yellow glow, so it's going to use. Plasma Devastators are going to pay for that war truck with their life, not retreating away in time. We do actually have a very melee heavy army here from Maggot. Both the CSM squads are going to be upgraded with the Mark of Corn upgrade, equipping these Chaos Space Marines with chain axes. But against these triple shotgun scouts though, I'm not sure how effective that's going to be. In fact, actually it's going to be 2 shotgun scouts. One squad did go down. Techmarine is also going to go down. That Dreadnought without any melee resistance is just going to get dogpiled here by the masses of melee. Raptors with Power Fist can also get on top of that Dreadnought as well. But the Blade Champion with his Power Fist is going to be very effective. Even Power Melee will do some decent damage to a certain extent. You know, some Tactical Marines actually getting a decap here. In fact, a full-on capture on a very deep requisition point. That Dreadnought down to just 70 HP. There are no scouts in sight. Tank busters are going to help out there, getting the final blow. Plasma devs are going to wipe that one Raptor model. We do see tier 3 starting to come in for some of the other players. Rostam is going to go tier 3 with Man on Mars joining him at the same time. Lomors already tier 3, Hate, and we saw taking up to tier 3 much earlier, but don't actually have any tier 3 units out on the field for him at the moment. You see a shotgun grenade combo going to go down, but it's very difficult to try and pull off and try and wipe the squad. Better off trying to use damage and then trying to kill them on retreats with the grenade instead. Techmarine does have the Signal armor, no bionics for him at the moment. Maybe worth considering though. Plasma Devastators. I'm not sure if he just hit himself there or one of his assisting models. That is going to be a dead Apo. Did have the power axe there. The Techmarine also goes down. Hate does have enough red though, so we can see the Laramon's Blessing ability get used to res both commanders up at the same time. We have a Land Raider Redeemer though coming out for a He-Man, and Man on Mars going to go tier 3 himself. Commando's out on the field here for Rostam as well, down at the bottom side of the map, so let's see if they can actually get behind enemy lines and try and take down some of the power, so red team doesn't have such a massive power advantage. 7 Force Commander here, getting a little bit overwhelmed, but Land Raider Redeemer coming in. Land Raider is extremely effective against melee due to the grenade burst ability there. Going to help assist in forcing those sluggers off the field. On the top side, we do have some grenades going to go down. A nice grenade there is actually going to catch out one of the squads. Some Devastators are going to get forced off, and we do actually have these Stern Guard veterans looking like they're using Vengeance rounds, which should be more effective against vehicles and maybe not better against infantry. Always want to use the one that gives damage over time. It's been such a while since I've cast this game properly that I have forgotten a lot of the abilities, so you'll have to forgive that. In fact, this Land Raider Redeemer is just going to go drive straight into base. Feeling very confident in his abilities to be uncontested here. Terminator Force Commander is also going to go in and try and use his flame, but cannot be suppressed. A very ambitious move there. Some mobs just come out of the field as well at the same time, and Lomors will get on top of that Land Raider and should be able to finish off. We have an also cannon here as well, firing acid and tank busters. This Land Raider Redeemer is taking an incredible amount of damage. In fact, it may just go down as soon as it's come up, really. There are Devastators here to suppress these knobs. We do have an orbital bombardment to try and prevent any tank busters from chasing in, but this Land Raider is already down to 344 HP. In fact, the teleports platform there down to just 4/5 HP. We'll need to keep an eye on that if the Land Raider Redeemer does drive back into base. So Predator tank up on the top side there. These sluggers are going to chase away these Stand Guard veterans. Devastators do need to be careful. These sluggers are equipped with flamers. Commandos are on the field. They do have an incendiary bomb. That is going to be a dead Devastator squad as they use the Burn the House ability and are on retreat to finish off that Devastator squad. Knobs are still going in. In fact, we actually have a second Land Raider Redeemer as well, this time for a Man on Mars. Man on Mars should be able to provide some decent support here to his own Land Raider Redeemer as well as He-Man's, given that he's still got 2 scout squads on the field along with the Techmarine being able to repair vehicles and also Techmarine having the global repair ability should things get a bit too dicey. 192 VPs, 301 red team with the VP advantage. 2 Land Raider Redeemers on the field. Things are looking a little bit grim here for the blue team. Red team can use their Land Raider Redeemers to retreat to, and they can advance a little bit closer to the natural VP of blue side if they wanted to try and get a triple cap. They are missing the top side VP in fact, but imagine that one Land Raider Redeemer can be sent towards the top side of the map to help secure that. Rostam going to be retreating his entire army there. Meanwhile, He-Man is just going to go back into the base. In fact, the one turret here was killed, so he can advance a little bit further without having to worry as much, but does need to be a bit careful. You will struggle to try and fight units inside an enemy base, especially when there's these 2 turrets here that are firing away, suppressing his tactical marines. And we have a Land Raider Redeemer who's just going to casually back it up into blue team's base. But there are tank busters here. There is an also cannon as well. And a little bit further, the Land Raider is going to actually wipe the tank busters. They're getting a little bit eager. The grenade barrage ability is just going to shred them into pieces. Mekboy is going to go down. He's trying to chase away some squads there with the bouncy shield, but not going to be too effective. We do actually have rocks getting cast down. The Land Raider is going to have to try and get out of there, but I don't think there's a path he can re-go down. It's actually getting slowed by a last cannon as well. It's firing away. That is going to be a dead Land Raider Redeemer. Trying to do what he can. That is one Land Raider Redeemer down. There is a second one still though on the field. 1,000 HP, but this is some very aggressive play here for Red side. Should maybe opt to go for the victory point as opposed to trying to go for the base. This is a victory point based game, not an annihilation based game. Some Nobs though going to get 4-star for the plasma guns, even getting purchased on Tactical Marines, so trying to assist. Nobs are heavy infantry, plasma weapons and power weapons are going to be more effective against them. Apo just sprinting around there with his armor of the Apothecary and giving it 1.5 extra speed out of combat. Letting him sprint around the map quite effectively. Commandos both armed with missile launchers. The Nob leader on the Commando squad does have a missile launcher, and the Commando Nob himself is going to choose a missile launcher. Tactical Marines are still trying to go into base. There's a lot of AV out in the field. 2 tank busters. In fact, that's not a tank buster squad, that's a Havoc squad with a mass cannon. With these Nobs as well. This Commander is also retreating away as well, but Frenzy ability going to get used here. Suppression does need to go down. These Nobs, when frenzied, are not going to take any damage whatsoever for 10 seconds. Tank busters are going to start hitting this Land Raider Redeemer, and the Nobs are going to try and do what they can. They're actually point blank, taking a lot of damage in fact. Devastators are going to get 4 stuff, but they're taking a lot of damage in the process, and there's going to be some Horn Chaos Space Marines coming down here as well. The Nobs are focusing down the power node. They need to start focusing down that Land Raider Redeemer. Grenade Barrage ability is going to disrupt all the melee that's trying to chase them. The Plague Champion is even trying to get in, along with some Heretics. Also Cannon is set up in the building as well. That's a lot of damage these Flamers are doing here. One Heretic squad is going to go down. Havocs are going to get set up as well, but the building might be in the way, but that Land Raider Redeemer is so low. The Havocs are not going to be able to get the shot that they need, but down to just 87 HP. There's a lot of suppression going to go down from these base turrets. The Plague Champion is going to be unsuccessful. 71 HP. Do have some Assault Terminators here to try and finish off these Chaos Havocs that are trying to desperately get the kill on this Land Raider Redeemer. You know, on the top side of the map, we do have an Orbital Bombardment about to go down. The Techmarine is actually going to get caught in that though. Going to do some okay damage, but shouldn't be able to wipe any of the squads. The Orbital Bombardment is not the most effective at wiping the squad, especially when they are already at full health. Some shooters just going to come in here, going to get disrupted though. There is that Whirlwind parked in the center, able to keep control of both victory points by the looks of it. And the squad will be forced away. 121 VPs, 252. We've not seen much of a shift in VPs. It's actually remained fairly equal for the majority of the game, with Red Team only losing 50 VPs. Blue Team are hanging in strong, taking out one Land Raider Redeemer. This one is still in, yeah, 400. In fact, we actually have more generators down here. That's 4 full generator farms here for the Red Team. They are really opting for that tech, but they're all floating horrendous amounts of power here. With manonmars with the least amount of power on his team, and still only having, or still having rather, 330. Maggot has actually lost quite a bit there in that last engagement, down to just a single CSM squad. Does have 2 Havocs though. And that is going to be a dead Land Raider Redeemer. One more swing will do it. That's the second Land Raider Redeemer down there. The new team should be in a much more comfortable position, taking out 2 super units. Terminator are going to fight that Nob squad, and that's actually going to be a dead Force Commander though. There are some regular Terminators, but they're currently not in combat. They should be here trying to fight these Nobs. They do have Lightning Claws, especially just to fight these Nobs. Is that another Land Raider Redeemer as well? It is. So this is going to be Land Raider Redeemer number 3. Hater's Weapon is also purchasing a Land Raider Redeemer of his own. There's just a lot of Land Raiders in this game. I feel like some more Predators could be a bit more useful. This Land Raider is coming in. There are some Assault Terminators here to assist, but it's taken a lot of damage already. manonmars does still have a single Scout Squad as well as his Techmarine to try and provide some support. Nobs are going to enter in frenzy state and are going to be forced off. These Lightning Claw Terminators doing about 210 pound melee damage per second as a squad. They will shred anything that is heavy infantry or super heavy infantry. We do have some more plasma guns as well. 2 squads now with plasma guns. Can be quite effective, and Blue Team are slowly bleeding VPs, but we do see Rostam making a push towards the top side. Red Team are going to remain fairly content here in the center of the map. That should be a dead Havoc squad. A little bit less AV there for blue team. Red team are going to blob up towards the bottom, but I think they need to abandon this generator farm on the bottom side of the map and try and opt for going for the victory points instead. That Predator is going to scrape on out of there with just 81 HP. That one more shot right here from his commandos or the commando knob would have been enough to do it. The Land Raider Redeemer actually coming in here. Rostam looks like he's going to get a forced under grenade barrage ability. He is going to hit, but like it kind of missed. But then the units were retreating away, so we're not going to see the knockback in action. Well, we actually have He-Man. He's going to try and come towards the mid-side of the map. Should try and go for this victory point. Bouncy shield there for the Mekboy as he comes in, but it's maybe a bit by himself. Will be forced off overall. Retreat, and that was an incredible amount of damage there from these Terminators. The Mekboy just melted. You know, scouts on the top side of the map. The missile launcher, when it does hit, does do quite a bit of damage, so we'll need to be a little bit careful and we'll be backed in a way. We start that whirlwind on the top side of the map, and we do have the second Land Raider Redeemer here. Currently out in the field for Hater's weapon. This is Land Raiders 3 and 4 in this game. And He-Man kind of looks like he wants to go for the base once again. Should really go for the victory point. He's going to get a bit too close and get hit there by the base turret. And a bit of flaming going on in the chat there by the looks of things. We do have Lomors. He's going to make his way towards the top side. Man on Mars is going to push on forward a little bit. VP is still in control of blue team despite red team having the Land Raider Redeemer either side of the victory point. We have a Land Raider Redeemer. We're going to try and sandwich this Ork army. Knobs are going to enter their frenzy save and just get knocked over straight away. We have a dual grenade barrage. In fact, we do. These Land Raider Redeemers are just going to take up so much of the map there. They are so large. In fact, Haste as a weapon is just going to lose this Land Raider Redeemer. These knobs, you can see the rings on them as they are able to get enough momentum there. Land Raider Redeemer is maybe not the most effective as a actual fighting unit, but definitely a very effective support unit. Some Chaos Terminators is going to get purchased here. Scouts are going to go down, not going to be able to retreat away from that one. This Predator is also cornered as well. These Chaos Terminators with their power fist should be more than capable to finish it off. That's going to be a fourth Land Raider that's going to go down to 27 HP. It's going to fall there. These Chaos Terminators coming in at the right time. We have the Lightning Claw Terminators though for Space Marines, which are going to try and do what they can. They are fairly healthy and should be able to fight these Chaos Terminators, in fact, or kill them. We have some more Terminators though. Haste as a weapon is going to try and fist these enemy Terminators. Predator is just kind of cowering here in the corner, trying to do what it can, but that Kommando knob is going to be able to finish off with another 2 hits. Signum Armor going to target these Terminators. That Kommando knob is so low and is going to potentially go down there. In fact, our scouts are actually going to be able to finish off Chaos Terminators. So low, 66 HP. Scouts may finish off the squad. 34 HP. Scouts are not the most effective at fighting super heavy infantry. And Scout Squad is going to be forced off. Scout Squad will go down as well. And the Chaos Terminator able to get away with just 21 HP. Lose a tank coming in. One whirlwind goes down. So many vehicles have died here for Red Team now. There's actually another Land Raider Redeemer on the way, surprisingly. There have been 4 deaths already. Loose tank, though, is already paying for itself. Plenty there, taking out both whirlwinds. Flame Terminator. They're just going to try and flame there on retreat. Looks like he's a little bit stuck, though. We do have a lot of commandos on the field. Triple commandos here for Rostam. That Predator is somehow still alive in the corner here, but is definitely not going to survive against these commandos. Play Champ is going to walk up and try and hit it with his power fist. The loser tank also firing away with these commandos. It's just going to be a bit too much. Blue team actually having quite a large army on the top side. There are some Terminators with a missile launcher strapped to their shoulder, but it's going to be a bit too much for them to hold. There are some more Terminators getting called in here, this time for He-Man. So we'll see what they can do. These Terminators tend to be pretty effective against these commandos as they're just regular infantry. The Storm Pulsers are pretty effective. And Lightning Claw Terminators here. We actually have 3 squads of Terminators up at the top side now. Another Land Raider Redeemer comes in. These Terminators, all 3 Terminators together, could be quite strong. Lomors just going to make a beeline here for the enemy VP. There are some Tactical Marines and Vengeance Round Devastators here, ready to protect it though. There's the VP's 158. Tank Bus is going to try and do what they can for these Noms, but we do have a drop pod. It's going to be some more Tactical Marines, not going to be a Venerable Dread as I might have thought it would be. These Devastators do need to get set back up again. A Looted Tank is going to assist. Frenzy is getting used, so it needs to be immune to range damage. Tactical Marines are trying to do what they can, but these Devastators still not getting set up, and these Knobs are just going to have free reign to kind of just sit there and capture the victory point. Meanwhile, some Terminators are going to come in and far away at those Tank Busters. Devastators are going to finally get set up now. And Vengeance rounds are going to be getting cast here. We actually have the Melts Gun upgrade here for the Techmarine, but I don't think you can actually get close enough to this Looted Tank. There's just such a massive melee army. In fact, these Terminators are just getting dogpiled here by some Sluggers down to just 1500 HP. Devastators, though, in a decent position to help out with the Assault Cannon. It looks like it might be enough, and surprisingly we actually have a Razorback this late in the game as well. Devastators, though, are just going to get forced off the field. Meanwhile, on top side is actually just captured by Red Team. But with Blue Team making such an aggressive push for the natural VP, Razorback is actually going to go down. With Red Team just capturing, or with Blue Team rather, just capturing the two natural VPs, they're just going to win the game here if they manage to hold the natural there of Red Teams. The Land Raider Redeemer coming down, but Tank Busters and some Chaos Terminators. It's looking like it might be a bit overwhelming here. Commandos are going to get jumped on by these Terminators. This Land Raider is just going to keep advancing further forward, but Missile Barrage does come in. Does do some decent damage, but that Land Raider is just going to crash. More Terminators and the Tactical Marine Blob are going to advance further forward. These Line Core Terminators are just shredding everything there. Going to be another squad that's going to go down. These Knobs are going to try and enter the field. Frenzy does get used, and Suppression is not going to go down in time. Signum Armor does get cast there. These Knobs are going to take some extra damage as soon as their Frenzy runs out. In fact, they're taking a lot of damage. ASM is going to jump in. These are going to be Vanguard Veterans. Not quite yet. Knob squad is potentially going to go down 6 VPs to 117. GG is getting called already, but the game looks like it's still going to continue. The Mekboy is on top of this VP with a bouncy shield. Red Team do still have control of that top side VP, but this VP is heavily contested at the moment. Looks like some Commandos are going to get caught out there. Some Tactical Marine models going to go down. These squads are all so low. Everyone is just desperate to keep control of this VP. Loose Tank will die though to that Melter Gun. Commandos on the slightly upper ground though. Going to try and do what they can. Some Tactical Marines are going to be forced away, but very low. Looser Tank it does get repurchased here for Lomors. And chat is acting like the game is kind of over. 6 VPs, those 110. The Heretics killing the Chaos Terminators, not Chaos Terminators, but just regular Terminators. Play Champion will come in for a finish off. Blue Team will be able to secure that top side VP as Looser Tank makes his way there with Maggot's army all the way up top. Red Team will need to try and secure Blue Team the natural VP down here, or will need to make their way towards the top side. 6 VPs for 109. Things are getting pretty close. Blue Team needs to hold on to their VP, otherwise they will just be out of the game completely. Vanguard Veterans are purchased, and we'll try and use that strike, but I'm going to miss. Is that another ASM squad here? Manonmars going to switch up strategies from mass scouts now to some mass ASMs, I guess. But I'm not too sure how effective the ASMs will be with Knobs on the field, and especially as Rostam has got his Sluggers and Painboy still on the field from the very beginning of the game. Play Champion is going to try and do what he can. Incredibly tanky. Level 10, 1,600 HP. Heretics are going to go down if they don't retreat away in time. Commandos are coming in, but these Terminators are fairly tanky. Lobster is going to get cast, but it doesn't actually affect most of the units here on the field. We have a Knob coming in. We have the Knob leader as well. In fact, I think these are fully kissed out. Level 4 Knobs, in fact, as well. 5,500 HP. Going to be largely uncontested. There's going to be some dead Terminators desperately trying to capture the VP. We'll get the capture. However, at the same time, the natural has also been caught 4 VPs, so units are capping down to just 1 VP is able to get the point. Grenade does get thrown down, but no one from blue team is going to try and avoid that grenade. They're just desperately trying to remain in the game. Handgun veteran is going to try and jump in though, trying to prevent blue team from capturing that second ASM squad. Is going to jump in and assist. These Pawn Chaos Space Marines need to actually start doing some melee work. They can't just sit there firing their plasma pistols, and blue team looks like they will gain control of the top side of the map. We do actually have some more Terminators coming in, but I'm not sure these Terminators can do too much. Blue team does have the majority of its army still here on the field. Play champion is going to back away there. Red team are going to make a push then for blue team's natural VP. Blue team do lose this VP, and it does fall in control of red team for even a second. They will be out of the game entirely. Red team are still trying to capture the loose tank. Going to use this big shot there. It's going to knock away the Tactical Marines, but the second Tactical Marine squad is just going to jump straight onto the VP. Chaos Terminators trying to do what they can, and I'm not too sure that blue team can hold on in this game. Blue team, unfortunately, going to be losing this game. Red team just going to be able to brute force their way through with enough Terminators, Land Raider Redeemers, and Tactical Marines. And blue team, unfortunately, unable to remain in this game. Victory is going to go towards the red side.